All right, now let's get the very latest. We cross live to our international news editor, Sophie Mokoena.
Well, thank you, Unat. Indeed, this is the second day of the Agoa forum here in Johannesburg. Earlier on, the President of the Republic spoke about the importance of this agreement, talking about how it is benefiting Africans on the continent, those countries that have been able to ensure that they utilize this agreement very well. But the President saying that a lot can be done to improve the returns in terms of using this agreement. Earlier on, I spoke to the CEO of Mercedes-Benz and the CEO of BMW and Ford, but all of them, they were also talking about the issue of infrastructure to ensure that the economy is in a good standing if you want to ensure that you do business with other countries. But with me, I have the Minister in the Presidency who is going to speak to us about what has transpired thus far and perhaps issues that we must pay attention to. Minister, the President spoke about a need to ensure that you utilize this agreement much better. In terms of South Africa's position, where are we lacking? Are you happy with the volume of trade between the two countries in relation to Agoa, or you think we can improve the numbers?
Thank you, Sophie, for that question. As the President has indicated, there is room to improve the numbers, but not only the numbers on the current areas that we are trading in, but on increasing the numbers by increasing the products that participate within the Agoa framework. Because if you don't increase the number of products that participate, you leave a lot of small enterprises, medium enterprises out there not to participate, but you also leave out the goods that are of value and products that are of value to Africa. Because currently what you're exporting is what the Americans need, but there's room and scope for more market. If you recall, during his speech, the President indicated that Africa, we've taken a decision that we're no longer going to be the exporters of rocks and stones. We're going to beneficiate here, and therefore we need an investment into factories. We need the construction of factories to beneficiate here, and that's why we need an extended period of Agoa, what he called the long haul of Agoa. So it's that combination. Of course, there are challenges that we need to resolve. We are busy resolving the issue of load shedding on our part. We're busy resolving the logistics that the rest of the African continent, in particular SADC, relies on us for the logistics in the export markets, and we're resolving those challenges. And as indicated by our Minister of Finance, even when we are incurring debt, we are going to invest in sorting out the logistics issue. But also we are also partnering with the African countries. You recall when we went to the BNC in the DRC, part of the agreements that were signed were for the construction of the airports, also the rail lines and the roads. There's a Zambia DRC bridge. We're part of resolving those challenges, and so that we can then make sure there's a flow of goods and products to the markets.
You spoke about Zambia. I spoke to the Minister of Zambia, who is dealing with trade and investment. He spoke about this issue of beneficiation. The question that comes, we know that South Africa previously, years ago, the country did embark on a vigorous campaign to get skills, particularly taking young South Africans out of the country, your Asgisa and all of that. Now, to beneficiate, you need capacity and skills. Are we working on ensuring that we do have the required skills?
Yes, we are indeed working on making sure we do have a required skills, and this is a combination of factors. Is one, the training of the skills internally, but also saying in the meantime, when you don't have skills, you must then import those skills. That's why we've got the skills, what you call the preferential skills permit visa that Home Affairs has accelerated to allow South African companies to attract, or those companies investing in South Africa, to attract the required skills to improve our own capacity to beneficiate. And that's why companies like Ford that have been here have imported skills, your BMWs, the Vodacoms, and all of them. I can mention a number of them that have participated or are continuously participating in the high skills visa scheme.
You spoke about the BMW and Mercedes-Benz. I spoke to the CEO of BMW and the CEO of Mercedes-Benz. And my colleague, Shawn Bryce-Pease, who is in New York, is currently covering a story where you have CEOs of South African companies, particularly in the financial sector, who are there to try and get the investors, particularly the FDIs. But the common factor, energy, infrastructure, our ports, our roads. Minister, I spoke to the MD of a mining company doing a story on COP27. The first thing that he told me was, oh, if we can resolve energy, if we can get our infrastructure correct. What is government doing? What is the president, the president himself, his interventions?
Thank you. And let me start with energy. You know, we established the NECOM, the National Energy Crisis Committee, that is chaired by the president at that level, which is in partnership with business. And we've gotten traction and there's confidence in our ability to resolve the load shedding issue, because Minister Ramaphosa will soon give us the timelines to say when are we restoring. You'll recall 2 weeks ago when we updated on cabinet, we said the number of breakdowns, unplanned breakdowns, they are now reducing from where we were during last year in May to where we are now. And also the capacity of Eskom in terms of the current fleet is going up, but also the number of renewables, megawatts that we're getting from renewables is also getting up. Minister Godhan will soon announce the transmission board, the board of the transmission company, so that we can then build the transmission capacity that we require for the energy. And talking about logistics, you'll recall there was by the Minerals Council, they made a call to say there must be intervention in Transnet, and they wanted certain things done. The president set up the National Logistics Crisis Committee, which is both a partnership between government and business and labor. We've engaged with labor. I think in the last week, the president has a large meeting with labor, which dealt with the challenges that are facing us in that capacity. And the plan on the National Logistics Plan has been articulated to say what are we going to do and how do we deal with the corridors of Transnet. You'll recall that the large miners in particular were saying they no longer have capacity to store what they have to store. Otherwise, they'll have to stop production until the ports issues are resolved. And we've engaged with them to say, no. How do we partner? Minister Godongwane announced the interventions that were allowing participation of business, of private sector in the logistics space until we resolve those challenges, and then government will then get back the full capacity. And it's those partnerships that are important for us to take us out. And I like that South African businesses are not sitting on the sidelines and criticizing government, are coming to the party and say, we understand you are resolving these issues. How do we partner? How do we build the necessary skills? How do we build the necessary expertise? And those are the efforts that the president is doing. And on Tuesday, he gave a country the update in terms of what we're doing in terms of the reforms that have been set in place, including the skills issue. It was part of the reforms, the skills visas was part of the reforms that the president has been championing, and it's now easy to participate in those, including the energy situation and the logistics situation.
Thank you so much, Minister, for your time. I would have loved to speak about or to touch on issues globally, your Palestine and war in Ukraine, but I know you have to rush back to the plenary. Thank you so much, Minister. There you have it, the Minister talking about what South Africa is doing in relation to Agoa. But when I looked or listened to the President, in terms of him putting the position of Africa, he was quite firm, and often when you listen to him on global stage, he does that. He does put across a strong message from the African continent. But the critical issue is delivery, because if you don't do it, implementation can affect whatever good ideas that you have.